Well, as cash-strapped companies emerge from the economic downturn, bartering is seeing a revival. More and more small businesses are turning to third-party exchange networks as they look at improving cash flow and offsetting expenses. Bartercard is Australia's largest network of this kind. It was founded during the 1991 recession. To tell us more about how they fared through the GFC, we're joined by the company's managing director and founder, Brian Hall. Brian, thank you so much for coming in to chat to us today.
Thank you,
Firstly, if we could just ask you to explain how this actually works, how the bartering system works.
Okay, fair enough. I guess the best thing to do is explain what is Bartercard and what is barter. First of all, barter is just the exchange of goods and services. It's the first, I guess, commerce that we had going way back in the earlier days when we were trading chickens and goats. But today, in a modern context, a lot of businesses are still bartering. They might call it contra or promotions or swapping, but it lacks flexibility. And the reason for that is to do a transaction, you need to find someone that actually wants to barter with you, and then it's a timing of, do I want your product today, or quantum, the amount, valuation, also accountability control. So those are a lot of things that make it inflexible. But Bartercard has developed a business model which we use the latest technologies, bank-like systems, and online transactions, online statements, and an FCOS barter card. So businesses, it makes much more flexible and secure way of trading. So we've overcome those traditional forms of actual bartering. And they said to understand exactly how we transact, the best is take an example between like a restaurant and a printer. In this instance, if, say, a restaurant wanted to get $10,000 worth of printing done, it's unlikely that the printer would want $10,000 worth of meals, especially if he's across town. So in traditional sense, that wouldn't work. But however, if they're both members of Bartercard, what would happen is the printer could do the job, and he'd get credited 10,000 Bartercard dollars in his account, and the restaurant would get debited 10,000 trade dollars. Now, the printer doesn't have to buy from the restaurant. He can buy from any of the businesses in the Bartercard network throughout Australia, and there's 20,000 businesses here in Australia and or overseas. And similar, now businesses can come and use at the restaurant itself. So in this time frame, like we're now doing over 1 million transactions a month, which represents almost one every 30 seconds.
Obviously, the global financial crisis is pretty unprecedented, though, and I mean, businesses, no doubt, were trying to hang on to cash. They were, you know, just doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
They're very concerned about the future. Did you see trades drop off? Did you see the number of members signing up drop off during the GFC?
Well, actually what happens is our business will start to improve because people have to look at new innovative ways. In a cash crisis, that means cash has been sucked out of the economy, but they still have the capacity to trade. So with Bartercard, we've now provided that facility. They can trade their goods and services, so we're effectively like almost another economy. And our economy starts to grow in these times. And going forward, the opportunities here is that people are now could use Bartercard as a leverage to help grow their business and get a competitive advantage.
So how do you make money then through all the trades and by lending the money?
Well, we make a transaction fee. We make a 5% cash and a 1% trade transaction fee on each transaction. I mean, it's a win-win situation. We work on a performance basis. So the more we get your business buying and selling and put people together, the more money everyone makes.
And what sort of interest do you charge on the lending of cash back?
Well, ours is an interest-free line of credit. So every business gets a line of credit from $10,000 to $25,000, but in some cases with levels of security up to $500,000 or more. And that's all interest-free, but they're paid back with their goods and services.
All right. So, I mean, just looking at the way you've made money, I mean, have you seen profit grow then during this past year?
In the last year, our business actually was growing, and we forecasted even growing more. And actually, we're gearing up to even grow more. So we're looking at recruiting a lot more salespeople and also franchises throughout Australia to take advantage of this opportunity.
I guess one concern for business too, though, would be, say, the printer example there. I mean, they're having to print $10,000 worth of whatever menus.
Yeah.
Then there's that concern, well, been paid yet, I don't have cash yet. I mean, how do you explain that to people?
Well, you've got to remember, businesses are only using somewhere between 5 and 10% of their turnover. So predominantly their business is already cash. Ours is just a little bit extra. So we put a little bit extra in sales. We offset some of their cash expenses. So part of our relationship with the printer is identify what are some regular ongoing expenses that they have, or it might be some capital items or other things that they need in their business. So we have a relationship with the printer to make sure that he has the capacity to spend with him as well. Because the more it goes both ways, the more money we make. If it was only one off, we wouldn't be making money as well.
With a rising interest rate environment, well, certainly in Australia anyway, I mean, how's that going to impact customers?
Well, I think the fact is if with higher interest rates, I mean, the higher cost of borrowing. So therefore, if they don't have to draw from their lines of credit or borrowing, they can use the Bartercard, which is interest-free. It just makes sense to switch a little bit more business this way.
All right, and how do you generally move with interest rates in line with
ours is probably non-effective in terms of our company is concerned. I just think the advantages as the business is using it, that they can trade more with it.
And just finally as well, I mean, you've also got a real estate business, restaurant and wine industries also taking this up. So, I mean, where else are you looking to grow?
Well, I think we cover across all the main industries. And, I mean, if you look at it, you said there's things of charities where, difficulties getting cash. They can now take goods in kinds, and we can act as a clearinghouse for them. A lot of Tier 1 sporting clubs are, sponsorships have dropped off. So now they can take more contract goods in kinds and use us as a clearinghouse. And they say hotels have got empty rooms, restaurants empty tables, media have got downtime, etc. So there's a lot of different businesses and a lot of excess stock that people can move.
It's been really interesting to have you in. Thank you so much, Brian Hall from Bartercard.
Thanks, Brady.